plus R sounds like an almost ch sound. When the T is followed by an R sound, the T changes and becomes an almost ch sound. Instead of saying trouble, we say trouble. Instead of saying true, we say true. To create this sound correctly, say ch as in chain, but just make the tip of the tongue a bit more tense when it touches the gum ridge and focus on creating a stop of air. Ch, ch, ch. Words for practice for T plus R.
Travel. Turkey.
Tradition. Introduce.
Translate. Interest.
Traffic. Extremely.
Turn. Terrific.
D plus R sounds almost like dr sound. When the D is followed by an R, the D changes and becomes an almost j. Instead of saying drive, we say drive. Instead of dress, we say words for practice for D plus R.
Drink. Children.
Drop. Address.
Dream. Cathedral.
Drama. 100.
Syndrome. Laundry.
Dialogues for practice for T plus R and D plus R.
Why do you travel by train?
Because the traffic is so dreadful.
What did Sandra tell the attorney?
She told him the truth about the drugs.
Have you traveled to Turkey?
Yes, that country has some interesting traditions.
I told him 100 times not to drink and drive.
I'm sure he'll try to stay out of trouble.
To tell you the truth, I'm drained from all this drama.
D plus U is usually pronounced as j, as in the word joke. Words for practice. Gradual. Schedule. Graduation.
Education. Procedure. Individual.
D plus Y is usually pronounced as j, as in joke. Did you? Would you?
Could you? Should you?
T plus U is usually pronounced as ch, as in church. Actually. Situation. Ritual.
Adventure. Virtual. Fortunate.
Statue. Nature.
Punctual. Picture.
Final T plus Y is usually pronounced as ch, as in church. Don't you? Won't you?
Can't you? Aren't you?
Sentences for practice. Did you go to his graduation?
Would you take our picture?
Why can't you be punctual?
Don't you like nature?
Actually, this is a fortunate situation.
You're adventurous, aren't you?
Why won't you do it gradually?
Can't you change your schedule?
ED endings. The final ED forms the past tense of regular verbs such as needed and worked, and some adjectives such as interested and tired. The ED can cause problems for non-native speakers because it can be pronounced in 3 different ways, as id, d, or t. Here are the 3 rules you need to know. Rule number 1. If the last letter of the word is spelled with a D or a T, the ED is pronounced as a separate syllable, id. Words for practice. Needed. Avoided.
Admitted. Separated.
Attended. Visited.
Decided. Waited.
Rule number 2. If the last letter of the word ends in a voiced consonant or a vowel sound, the E is silent and the D is pronounced as D. Words for practice. Opened. Called.
Changed. Closed.
Earned. Loved.
Pulled. Showed.
Rule number 3. If the last letter of the word ends in a voiceless consonant, the E is silent and the D is pronounced as T. Words for practice. Passed. Washed.
Helped. Watched.
Laughed. Worked.
Stopped.
Linking ED endings plus a vowel. Linking is connecting the final sound of one word to the first sound of the following word. You will need to learn to link words together to create smooth, natural speech. This is discussed in much greater detail in Chapter 8. Sound like a true native speaker. It's especially important for you to learn to link words with ED endings. The final T and D sounds are much easier to pronounce if they're connected to the vowel that follows it. For example, stayed in sounds like stayed in. Turned on sounds like turned on. Developed a sounds like developed a. Needed a sounds like needed a. Words for practice. Worried about. Looked at. Talked about.
Interested in. Worked on. Liked it.
More linking practice. ED verbs plus the word it. You will first hear a verb in the present tense, then you will hear it in the past tense ED form linked with the word it. Need. I needed it. Paint. I painted it.
Attend. I attended it. Admit. I admitted it.
Cook. I cooked it. Like. I liked it.
Watch. I watched it. Stop. I stopped it.
Use. I used it. Clean. I cleaned it.
Change. I changed it. Love. I loved it.
Conversations for practice for ED verbs. Listen to the following dialogues, which contain questions and answers, but only repeat the answers because those contain the ED verb and the word it. Make sure that you link these two words.
What did you think of the movie?
I liked it a lot.
What did you do with the money?
I deposited it in the bank.
How did you cook the chicken?
I fried it in oil.
Is the heater on?
No, I turned it off.
When did you paint the room?
I painted it last week. Dialogues for practice, job interview. Listen to the ed endings of the past tense verbs and try to determine which of the three possible sounds you hear, d, t, or id. In the first part of the job interview, each of the ed verbs is followed by a word that starts with a vowel. Make sure that you're linking these two words. Tell me about some of your experiences as a university student.
I studied accounting and finance. I graduated at the top of my class. I maintained a 4.0 GPA. I played on my college basketball team and participated in many extracurricular activities. I volunteered at the homeless shelter. I partied every weekend. I dated a lot of pretty girls. I loved every minute of it.
Describe some of your personal qualities that would make you qualified for this position.
I'm detail-oriented, highly motivated, and organized. I'm also focused and determined, and I work well in a fast-paced environment. I have an advanced knowledge of computers. I'm also college-educated and well-traveled.
The TH. The TH is one of the most difficult consonant sounds for non-native speakers. Remember, for this sound, the tip of the tongue should touch the edges of your front teeth. The tip of the tongue vibrates a bit while air flows out through your tongue and your upper teeth. It's also okay to just touch the back of the front teeth as long as the air is flowing through. There are two TH sounds in English, the voiced TH as in that and the voiceless TH as in think. Words for practice for the voiceless TH. Anything. Author. Both.
Earth. Ninth. Health.
Nothing. Thank. Thing.
Thursday. Wealthy. With.
Word pairs for the voiceless TH. With nothing. Ninth birthday.
Both methods. Third month.
Warning. Common mistake. Voiceless TH versus T. Some non-native speakers incorrectly pronounce the voiceless TH as a T, and the following words end up sounding the same. Thank, tank. Bath, bat. To correct this problem, change the position of your tongue by moving it forward to touch the teeth. Also, make sure that there's an airflow between your tongue and your teeth. Words for practice for the voiced TH.
Although. Breathe. Clothing.
Father. mother, rather,
this, the, then,
they, those, whether. Word pairs for the voiced th.
that clothing, this weather,
Neither brother, mother and father. Warning. Common mistake. Voiced th versus d. Some non-native speakers incorrectly pronounce the voiced th as a d. The following words end up sounding the same. They, day. Breathe, breed. Again, to correct this problem, change the position of your tongue by moving it forward to touch the teeth. Also, make sure that there is a flow of air between your tongue and your teeth. Warning. Make sure that your tongue vibrates under your upper teeth. Don't bite your tongue and don't press it on your upper teeth too strongly. This will block the flow of air that is required to produce this sound correctly. The American R. Many languages have what is called a rolling R, where the tip of the tongue touches the gum ridge, similar to the D sound, but with a quick and repeated motion. It sounds like this: R, bright, Russia, from, red. In contrast, the American R is produced in the back of the mouth, and the tip of the tongue never touches anywhere inside the mouth. There are several ways to produce the American R. Try both of them and decide which one is easier for you to create. Method 1. Simply curl the tip of your tongue and pull it back a bit and keep the tongue tense. Method 2. Let the back of the tongue do all the work. Press the sides of your tongue up against the back teeth. In this case, you do not need to curl the tip of your tongue. It should sound like this: red, March, here, for. Unlike the British R, the American R is always pronounced. It's never silent. Pay particular attention to the R at the end of the word, as in for, more, far, and teacher. R at the end of the word. Words for practice.
more, here, her, for,
Culture. Where. Sure. Car. Word groups for final R. All of the following words have an R at the end. Make sure you pronounce each one clearly.
four-door car, her younger sister. They're never here. Sooner or later.
Lobster for dinner. Your older brother. 4 more over there. R before a consonant. The R before a consonant is also always pronounced in American English, but generally not pronounced in British English. Americans say morning, first, modern. In British English, these words are pronounced as morning, first, modern. Word pairs.
Important information. First person. Hard to understand. Northern California.
Early in the morning. Survive divorce. Learn German. Undergoing surgery.
30%. Modern furniture. March bargain. Perfect performance.
Advice from a successful student.
I have collected a list of words that are difficult for me to pronounce. I make up sentences from these words and I practice saying them over and over.
The American L. For the L sound, the tip of the tongue touches the gum ridge behind the upper teeth, just the same as when creating the T and D sounds. The airstream flows through the sides of the tongue. When the L occurs at the end of the word, make sure that you don't release it quickly as you would with the T or D. This will make your L sound foreign. The American L is softer and longer than the L sound of many other languages. Don't say, I feel well. Say, I feel well. Notice how the L is prolonged by keeping the tongue up longer. Warning. Common mistake. Don't round your lips when you're saying the L. This will weaken it and make it sound more like a W. Don't say people, say people. Words for practice.
Although. Call. Children.
Cold. Difficult. Felt.
Film. Little. Milk.
Myself. People. Will. Word pairs for practice.
Tall girl. Felt guilty.
Old school. Tall wall.
Cold milk. Gold medal.
Little children. 12 soldiers. L before a consonant. For Asian speakers, the L is particularly difficult to pronounce when it's followed by a consonant. If you don't correctly move your tongue, the words code and cold will sound the same. Practice the following word pairs, making sure that you clearly pronounce the L of the second word. The first word of the pair has no L sound. Word contrasts for practice.
Code. Cold. Debt. Dealt.
Toad. Told. Wide. Wild. Long vowels plus L. When a long vowel is followed by an L, put an extra sound in between. Instead of saying feel, say feel. It's almost as if you're adding an extra syllable. Words for practice. E plus ol. Feel. Steal. Deal. Real. Wheel. Heel. A plus ul. Sail. Mail. Whale. Pale. Fail. Exhale. I plus ul. Mile. While. Style. Smile. File. Trial. Oi plus ul. Oil. Toil. Spoil. Foil. Boil. Soil. U plus ul. tool, school, rule, fool, cool, pool. Word pairs.
Fail school. Cool style.
Miles and miles. Real deal.
Steal the tool. File the mail.
L or R? Warning, common mistake. If your tongue is not touching the right place in the mouth, your L will sound like an R, and the word wall will sound like war. To correctly pronounce the L, make sure that the tip of the tongue is in the front, near the upper front teeth, when it touches the top of your mouth. If the tip of your tongue is pulled farther back in the mouth, it might sound like an R instead. Use a mirror to see the position of your tongue for the L. L and R in the final position. Pay attention to the position of your tongue as you practice these two final sounds. Prolong the sounds as you concentrate on what your tongue is doing. Sound contrasts.
Feel, fear, deal, dear, stole, store, mole, more,
Bowl, bore, tile, tire, while, wire, file,